Hey y'all, N4H&H here. Check it out. M8.9. M8.9. Let me grab the pointer here. If you look at the top right there, X-ray flux M8.9. We got a medium class flare going on. It's been gradually rising, and so I thought, well, I better get the camera out. Okay, it's not something you haven't seen before, but that's pretty high for an M class. And you're looking at the HF clock from Veridian, but it's running ham clock software. I'll just go ahead and mention to you that this one has limited functionality now with the new software for ham clock. So it is going to stay, it looks like, at version 3.1. They're up to 4.01 at this moment with ham clock. So I have this one tasked to do things that don't require a lot of interaction, which is fine. So I have it mostly giving me solar data. You'll see the blinking in the middle. It switched over to Aurora chances, 55%. I'm just wanting to see if that X-ray is going to go any higher than that. So, for example, you got a solar flux index up there of 184. You see that, 184? And then sunspots, which shows up down here in the bottom of the VOACAP. It'll also cycle through on this big screen here, but sunspots at 150. Those are good numbers. But here's the problem. That X-ray, we want that C, B, or A. A is better than B, B is better than C, that kind of thing. We don't want medium. And also, too, the BZ here, we don't want a minus value. We want plus. At least +2, and, you know, above that's even better. So these are not great numbers, but what I wanted to tell you was I just heard a guy calling CQ on 28400. And it's almost 10 o'clock p.m. in the east. I see some signals up and down the band. I'm going to keep it on. I'm going to keep the camera on the HF clock there. Again, running ham clock software. I'm going to keep it trained on that in case that M8.9 changes. I'm running ham clock on two other one on the computer, and one is an Innovato standalone version. They're both also, oh, there we go. Look, 9.6. It just changed. I see some signals up the band. Oh, now they're gone. Oh, there they are. No, not hearing anybody. Interesting thing, too, is I was just... Yeah, there's 28435. I was just listening to a QSO on one of the repeaters, 29.640 out of Canada. And I like to venture up on the FM portion of that band. 29.6 is your simplex calling frequency. And then the repeaters are typically 29.620, 29.640, 29.660, and 29.680. And I've covered that already in one of the FTDX10 videos, one of the videos in my tutorial series. But and I've even covered it for the other rigs. I've covered it for the FTDX 5000. I know. And so I like to venture up there and check the FM portion of the band and work a little FM every now and then, especially the simplex. But yeah, look at that. It's hit M9.6. It got up to M6 yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. So this is higher than yesterday. And how high will it go? I mean, we could get an X class, possibly. But let's see if that's going to go up or down. But like I said, I've got somebody. He's not super strong, but I've got somebody tuned in right now. He's about S3 on 28435. Let me move the camera over here real quick. I'll let you see the FTDX10's external monitor. I mean, there's the radio.
Okay, thank you so much.
He's hitting S5 now.
I would like customer contacting CRZ. Okay, 73, bye-bye.
All right, well, let's see. I want to get back over here again. Let's see if it's going to get above M9.6. So for those of you who may be new to amateur radio, these are unusual conditions. We don't always see the solar flare activity, but we're just getting to, or maybe just over the peak of the sunspot cycle, depending on who you ask. Okay, but yeah, I mean, so more of this activity. So we need sunspot activity. Sunspot gives activity that ionizes our ionosphere, and that's what refracts our signals back toward Earth. That's how we talk around the world. But we can have too much of a good thing. And so some of these sunspots, we're seeing flares off of them, and that are pretty strong. And an M9.6, that's getting pretty strong. If that gets to, basically after M9.9, we're going to go to X. So X can be very, very disruptive. Now the M9.6 there, that's disruptive. But let me show you something. See that orange dot right there? That's where I'm located. That solar flare, that M9.6, is mostly affecting, that's the sunny side of the Earth that it affects. So the guy I'm listening to, he's probably somewhere here in the dark region. And looking over here at the MUF map, I've got the ham clock over, 9.8, it's going up. Now this one hasn't caught up yet. It still says 8.9. But look, the orange there, that's the 10-meter band coverage. And you can see where the dark is on this MUF map. Mostly usable frequency is what I think it stands for, okay? It's supposed to be maximum usable frequency. So for example, that blue around my QTH there, the blue region, that's 40-meter coverage. Well, Alaska in the green, that's like 21 megahertz. If you look down here, 2021. I'm not going to work Alaska on 40 meters. So if that's maximum usable frequency, that would mean, oh yeah, you can work anybody from 21 megahertz and down that's in Alaska. No, there's 40-meter coverage. You're not going to get Alaska on 40 meters until, as the sun goes down a little bit more, that 40 meters coverage, that's going to stretch out. It's already stretching out. It's getting bigger as night falls here. So anyway, that orange, that's going to show me where the 10-meter bands, now not to be confused with a 10-meter band, but bands of coverage. See, it's usually in those streaks like that. But, 3 months ago, it was so good that those bands were almost closed in on each other. I mean, they were touching and almost, it was almost solid. Okay, well, let's get back over here on this one. This one is still tracking and has 9.8, an M9.8. It would be really cool. I mean, in a sense cool. We don't really like an X class, but I guess it would be cool while I'm filming if that would go to X. But what I'm looking for is for it to begin to drop. The Innovato version is over here. It's got an M9.8 now. Looking at it, let me see. Let me get it over on that one. See that one? So that one's showing an M9.8. And back over here looking at the HF clock. The wooden unit, as they're called. Okay, so it's a computer inside of a nice handcrafted wooden box there. I'll zoom out. You can see that I have it mounted with a boom so I can reposition it, but I like where it is. All right, so let's see if that's going to change. I don't want the video to be too long, coming up here, 9.5 minutes, but I want to see if this is going to go to X. I didn't look and see what the prediction is for today, but like yesterday, I believe it was, when we had an M6, this thing said M6, and that is indeed what the GOES satellite, GOES 16, that's what it registered. So we'll see what happens here. I'm still picking up the guy on 28,435. I'm going to go up to the 10-meter repeaters. Okay, I heard somebody on this one earlier. I'm going to see if I can trip the repeater. Yep. a better ID. N4H and H testing. Hear the repeater? Let me move the camera over. Now I'm running IPO, so that's probably an S9 signal. I run IPO all the time unless I really need the extra sensitivity. You know something Yaesu missed on this FTDX10? Let me point that out while we wait. On the FT891, you can have it set for RF gain in the menu, but when you switch to an FM mode, it automatically makes your RF gain a squelch. That would be so convenient. So if I want to squelch all that out, I got to go into the menu and change my RF gains function to squelch. And then I don't have RF gain when I get back on sideband. So that's kind of annoying and disappointing, because the little FT891, the little brother of this thing, has that feature. Just, you can leave it set for RF gain, you switch over to FM, it automatically turns the RF gain knob into a squelch knob. That's really an unfortunate thing that Yaesu left out there. I don't know what Yaesu's thinking sometimes, to be flat honest with you. I mean, they make great radios, and you know, they own the top slots in Sherwood's list for receive performance, but it seems like sometimes that they miss a simple thing. And the thing is, it's not like they've never done it before. The FT891 has that feature. Automatically turns the RF gain knob into a squelch when you go to FM. So Yaesu, if you're listening, you missed a great opportunity there with the FTDX10. So we're looking at M9.8 still. I want to wait and see what's going to happen here. But again, see, I can hear stations here on 10 meter band because I'm in the dark. And that M-class flare is affecting people that are on the sunny side of the earth. Now, let me give you if you haven't seen the video, I was working a bunch of those DXpeditions back in November of 2023, and I was able to work these DX stations that were over there just north of, let me show you here with my pointer, just north of Australia, these little islands here. And I believe one of them was 4XWX. It was right just under 10,000 miles. And I was able to work them, and then all of a sudden they were gone. Well, they were on the sunny side of the earth because it was about this time of night, maybe a little bit later. Like I said, they were suddenly gone. Well, it was because they were on the sunny side of the earth and there was a M-class flare. So about an hour or so, might have not quite been an hour, they came back on. So, you know, what I wanted you to get from that is I may be able to hear people that are here in this dark region, but the people that are on the sunny side of the earth are going to be hampered by this flare. So that's going to disrupt things. But just remember, M is not the end of the world. What we don't want to see, we don't want to see X, and that gets pretty disruptive. It can disrupt power grids. Let's see here. I want to give it a couple more minutes. I don't know, I might compress this video a little bit for time, but this right now, this is real time. Coming up on 15 minutes here in a little bit. Just want to see it. That's holding 9.8 for a while. So it might not go above 9.8. I'm hearing that repeater. So that's in Canada. It was a VE3. So I believe that may be in the dark region there. Or right on the edge of it. That repeater is locked up now. It's just continually transmitting. Y'all can probably hear that. The planetary K, you see there, 3.3. You don't want that above 5 for sure, but you want that to be lower. Lower is better. You know, like 1 or 0.5, things like that are great. But, you know, 2 is okay. 3, that's getting into, you know, close to 5, and we don't want that. You definitely don't want 10. Oh, now we're getting an error. Oh, it came back. And the BZ there, this interplanetary magnetic field, again, it's negative right now. So that the more negative that goes, by the way, the more chance you have of an aurora, northern lights. We had that happen about, what, a month ago or so? You could actually see the northern lights down into North Georgia. Like I said, I may compress the video, but I'm going to wait and see if that trends up or down there, that 9.8. And, you know, just keeping it real for you guys. I like to give you real-time operating. So I was mentioning earlier that the FT891 automatically switches over to squelch when you go to FM mode, but when you go back to sideband, if you have the menu set for RF gain, then it'll go back to RF gain when you're not in FM mode, but it'll automatically go to squelch when you're in FM mode. Up, you see it just dropped to M9.7, so it peaked out at 9.8. It's a shame, you know, that the FTDX10 does not have the ability to do that, and even the FTDX101, the RF gain and the squelch share a knob. So it's really incredible to me that the flagship radio of the fleet, you know, the FTDX 101, the 10, the 710, you have to share a knob for RF gain or squelch, and you got to pick one or the other from the menu. And yet the lowly little, small, although by the way, a highly regarded radio. I like the FT891. I run one in the truck and one in my backpack. That radio can automatically switch to squelch when you go to FM mode. So that's just incredible to me that Yaesu, look at that M9.7 now popping up on the big screen. You can see the trending there. Yeah, this is the highest in the last day. Highest I've seen in a while. So anyway, but yeah, I just think that's an unfortunate thing that Yaesu left out. Okay, fine if you're not going to give us a separate squelch knob. The 5000 that you see me use a lot, the FTDX 5000, it has a separate squelch knob separate from the RF gain. The 101 doesn't have that. The 10 doesn't have it. 710 doesn't have it. And that's a missed opportunity to me. You move forward, you make a better radio, and then you take away convenient features. And even if you're not going to give us a separate knob for squelch like the 5000 has, give us the functionality that the FT891 has, to where when I go to FM, it automatically turns my RF gain knob into a squelch knob. Okay, well, you've seen what I wanted you to see. We tracked the M-class flare up to a 9.8. Now it's dropped to a 9.7. I'll wait one more moment and see if that trends down, just to make sure that's not some sort of an anomaly. Okay, I'll give it another minute or so, see if it's going to drop. So we're into 21 minutes here on the video, but again, M9.4. So there we go. All right, but again, I may compress the video so it won't be 21 minutes long, but I wanted you to see that. It's definitely trending down now. So, hey, I hope you learned something from the video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. And maybe you'll help me, and let's go to the Contact Us page on yaesu.com and ask Yaesu to give give us the functionality of the FT891 when it comes to RF gain and squelch. When we go to FM mode, we'd like it to automatically switch over to squelch. I mean, I just think it's unfortunate that the newer radios don't have that feature. All right, hey, thanks for watching videos on my channel. Please hang around for another half a minute or so. I want to acknowledge 5 of the Patreon team members who I call long haulers, because without them you wouldn't have seen this video or hundreds of others, because quite frankly, I'm not independently wealthy. I can't afford the expenses involved in video production and getting the equipment and everything else without some help. And without them, these videos would have stopped, about 3.5 years ago. So these people are what I call long haulers. They put some skin in the game for a year, 2, 3, and now I've got some up at 3.5. So that is years, 3.5 years of making sure that I can continue to bring you this type of content, objective reviews. I don't have manufacturers supporting the channel because I don't want them to tell me what I can and can't show you, okay? So again, please hang around for a half a minute and honor these 5 Patreon team members who have helped keep this channel operating now for, 3.5 years, some of them date back, like I say. All right, thanks so much. 73 from N4 H&H.